I'm your host, Kendra, and today our guest is Thomas More student Jonathan Miller. Thanks for joining us, Jonathan.
Thank you for having me.
Could you tell us about how you became a student at Thomas More and what is your field of study?
I grew up locally, and I was looking to go to college locally. And when I was deciding where to go to college, I was looking for somewhere with a good biology program because that's my field of study. And I looked at the field station Thomas More has and all the resources we have access to and decided to go here.
Nice. Tell us about your internship you experienced in summer 2024. How did you find out about it, and then what were some of the duties that you had?
This summer, I did an agricultural research internship in Kenya, in Africa. And I found out about it through a website that the National Science Foundation runs that lists off a bunch of research experiences for undergraduates.
Okay.
I applied for it and I heard back 10 days before I would have to fly out. So that resulted in a lot of scrambling to get to Detroit to get a passport and everything. And then while I was there, I did all sorts of things. My primary job, my primary duties, was doing genetic research on a crop called sorghum, which is really big in that part of the world because it's very tolerant to droughts and that sort of thing. So I was doing research on that to possibly improve it and make it more capable of growing in higher altitudes.
So you mentioned genomics. What is that, and then what's the difference between ecology?
So genomics is a study of an organism's genome. What I was doing in particular was using statistical software to look for specific parts of a genome that code for cold tolerance, to essentially make the plant more capable of growing in cold-tolerant regions, or in colder regions. That's different from ecology because ecology is study of ecosystems, just completely different fields in their entirety.
So you mentioned that you studied the plant sorghum. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so sorghum is the 5th most important cereal crop in the world. It's eaten as a staple crop like every day by over 500 million people. And it's what makes it useful is that it doesn't have as high yield as corn or other crops like that do. But it's super drought tolerant and heat tolerant because it was domesticated in the Egypt area, not exactly known for being cold. So it's really good at surviving in certain climates that things like corn or rice or whatever can't. And it's used for all sorts of things. I mentioned staple crop. People eat it directly in enormous amounts. But people also use it for brewing, people use it for biofuel, for livestock feed, for all sorts of things.
What were your top 3 takeaways from your internship?
If you get the chance to travel, it was really amazing to go and interact with people there to see the kind of things that they do, things that keep great. Second thing would be, if you get an opportunity, take it even if it doesn't look like what you really want to do. My focus is ecology, study ecosystems, so genomics is not really my field at all, but I got the opportunity, so I just took it. And a third takeaway is that people from different places are different in a lot of ways, but they're the same in a lot of ways. I really love the people in Kenya. They're super generous, super friendly, and they were familiar in that way, but also the way they talk, the way they think. They don't have sarcasm near to the extent that we do here. They're much less cynical people in this way.
What would you have done differently?
I would have taken more advantage of being in a different country, gone out and done more things. I was so busy and focused on, doing my job and everything that I didn't move around independently as much as I might have liked to.
How did the experience fit in your long-term plans?
It really didn't, to be entirely frank. My long-term plans are still ecology at this point. And while I could maybe down the road find some way to integrate what I learned about genomics with what I could potentially do in ecology, more likely than not, I'm probably not going to be leapfrogging off the back of this internship anytime soon.
What advice would you like to share with new and current students?
What I said before about takeaway, just if you ever get an opportunity, even if it looks bad and there's something about it you don't like for example, it was on such short notice and it wasn't really the field that I was going for, take it. Anything that you do, you can use in some way. Like, this was an unbelievable experience that really grew me as a person in a lot of ways, even if it wasn't on its face what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience and your story. You can find more content like this on our social media channels. Thanks for watching our Safe Spotlight.